Calling to order the Municipality of Monroeville's Citizens Night and agenda-setting meeting for January 6th, 2022. If we'd all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. All council is in attendance with the exception of Mr. Biondo, who will be here shortly. It is the first snowfall of the year.
There he is.
And Public Works is ready, just for the record.
That's Aaron, that's him, oh, okay. Oh, no,
Council,
no.
we're going to start with our citizens' remarks and comments. This is Citizens Night. This is an opportunity for the residents of the community, the citizens of the community to comment to council. We try to have some guidelines with these comments. We try to have everybody stay to a 5-minute time limit. That helps allow the meeting to move forward at a positive pace. You will have another opportunity to make comment on agenda items at Tuesday's meeting, at the regular council meeting. And also, at the end of Tuesday's meeting, there is another section at the end of the meeting to comment on any municipal item. So this evening, for Citizens Night, the Thursday prior to the regular council meeting, it is public comment on any municipal item. It can be something we're going to discuss, or it could be anything in the municipality. We just kindly ask that you keep it to 5 minutes, and then certainly if you need more time, you can speak to your council person after the meeting, or myself, or Mr. Little, and we can get you information that you may require. Now, I am outlining all this because this is a new year, and we have new council members. We have 4 new council members, so please go easy on them this evening. This is their first, Citizens Night meeting. So with that, if there's anyone here that would like to address council on any municipal item, now would be your time to address council. And when you do get up here, if you could just sign in, if you haven't already.
I did sign in already.
Okay, great. And then if you could just state your name for the
Yes.
record and that you are you are a Monroeville resident.
Yes. Okay. My name is Kim Crifton. I live on Jamison Lane, and I'm here regarding the subdivision, as I was for the last meeting. I provided everybody with a printout because I know there's some new council members, so they can maybe catch up and update themselves. I'm still requesting that that on Tuesday, this be tabled because the following reasons are forthcoming. There'll be documents from the Allegheny County Water Authority coming forward, the Conservation District of Allegheny County, and the DEP to provide it's within the next week or 10 days. They told me they would have these. They've been reviewing some things for me, and they would give council time. If I could provide them by Tuesday, I was hoping they might have them for me so that it would give council some time to take a look at them for the next meeting. Now, per the Municipality of Monroeville's ordinance criteria, the adjacent neighborhoods, the adjacent properties in the neighborhood, Jamison Lane and Hemlock, that has not been posted. This subdivision was not posted anywhere in the neighborhood. So there are neighbors who don't know this is going on, especially Hemlock. There are 3 or 4 houses on that cul-de-sac, so it's never been posted on a pole. And I understand per our ordinances, per them, the current ordinance is outdated actually right now. I don't know if we have a new one coming forward, but that was supposed to be done and that wasn't done. The review, I have attached the minutes to the 1987 meetings, the council meetings, and I went back and got 2 additional where they talked about the covenants, and they were seriously discussed, and a revision was done to the comprehensive plan for that rezoning, and there was a revision done to it, and that covenant was put into the revised minutes of that. So I don't know where it went from there, but it's still in there. I looked at that went on probably from July until November, till they approved everything. So that's why I addressed that. Foremost, here's a blueprint that I would like to show you. And this was provided to us by the submission of the subdivision and I got this from Paul, but on this blueprint, it
Kim, if you could
designates,
just move that over a little bit and
is that
then,
good?
and we'll see how.
I didn't make copies of this because it's too expensive to make copies of color. But on here,
And
there's a
you'll be able to
ledger.
leave that with us for the record?
What's that?
Will you be able to leave that with us?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
I will. Actually, on this ledger, it designates that whole entire area that DCI sits on as a watershed and a wetland. And it goes completely down into the area. You can see how it's, well, you'd have to see this up close, but it follows down into where, so I'm gonna turn it this way, because this is Monroeville Boulevard up here. And this
Okay.
is where the building sits. So all of this dotted line that goes through there designates this whole area as a watershed. Now, from my research, there are specific regulations that apply to a watershed area. There are things that you can and cannot do. And you can be faced with serious penalties by allowing the destruction of the land and the bulldozing and the bobcat, taking trees down. And this is not, these aren't my regulations. These are regulations set forth by the DEP and by the Conservation District. That's why they're reviewing this. And they've taken notice to this. The regulation carries strict and serious repercussions that if they're not followed. Severe penalties can also be executed if the destruction of vegetation within the area of the specific vegetation is required, which there are specific vegetations required in a wetland and a watershed. So I'm waiting, now the county was out and they looked at everything. They're gonna go back and look at all their records and look at how the property was laid out historically. They can go all the way back to that. So I think that would be pertinent to this approval. It also falls under the Municipality of Monroeville's Comprehensive Plan wetland criteria. If you read through the criteria, which I did, it has specifics. Now, DCI was provided a stormwater management plan at the time of the purchase, but they've never really, they have recently now checked the drains and everything on the pond, but they were there. The video that I did get was actually 9 minutes long, and they went 135 feet. Now, we're talking almost 400 feet of property where the lines go, so I don't know what happened after that. I do know, because they're in my backyard practically, that they were there for 2 entire days, dredging, and they had water trucks come in and pumps come in, and they were having a very difficult time. So I don't think it was ever functioning properly for the last 15 years. So I don't know if it's correct now, to be honest with you. That's also what I provided. Also a copy of a letter from Allegheny County. When we submitted this subdivision to Allegheny County, it goes to the county, they make their comments and come back. Now, the letter's in there, and there were 4 issues, and I don't know if they were addressed. I'm just wondering if Mr. Terrett addressed what he needed to address to them and if it was resolved. And do we send that back to the county for another look at it, or is it just stop there if they fix it? That's what I'm asking.
Okay. And we're well over 5 minutes, but if you want to
Okay.
finish up
Yeah,
your comments.
I'm almost done. The colonial plan, I had provided the big map. On the colonial plan, that area that is a buffer zone is actually a 15.6-foot area, not a 10-foot area. And then, but I guess when they did the comprehensive plan in '87 and rezoned it, they cut it down to 10 feet and left made it an S conservancy in a buffer zone. So those things, to me, have to be cleared up. My biggest issue is the fact that it's a watershed and that it is a wetland, and there are serious concerns with that, because a lot of the trees have been removed, and I suspect more trees are gonna be removed, and I've been told by the county when he looked at it, he said, you can't take out trees because there's nothing to suck up the water. That land is wet all year long. So that's just, and last but not least, I can't stress enough how critical it is to properly maintain a watershed or wetland. The corridor serves as an animal refuge also, which the Conservancy of Allegheny County is looking into. They want to see what transpires there. They're going to take a look at it. So that's what I have to present to you, and I'll be back on Tuesday.
Thank you, Kim. Is there anyone
Now,
else?
do you
who'd
want me
like-
to leave this?
If you're
I'll
able-
bring it back Tuesday, but I mean, if you
Well,
want
I
to,
would like for maybe staff to be able to review it, so if you could leave with us.
Sure, and if I can
it's
return
your
it?
property, we'll return it.
Okay.
Yeah, give it to Mr.
Because-
Little. We'll make sure you get it back, though.
yes.
And thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to address council on any municipal item at this time? This is for Citizens Night. If anyone would like to address council? Seeing none, we're going to move on. We're closing the citizens' remarks and comments. As I mentioned earlier, there will be another section for agenda items at the beginning of our council meeting on Tuesday. And also, there will be another opportunity for residents to speak about any municipal item at the end of that same meeting on Tuesday. And now we have a presentation or discussion about the aerial ladder truck. We have some representatives from the fire department here this evening. We have a representative from the fire department. Chief. Yes, sir. Chief, welcome.
Okay to remove my mask?
Whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay.
Do you just, if you don't mind, just stating your name for the record.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Manager, Solicitor, and the other municipal officials. My name is Chief Logan Stadler from Monroeville Volunteer Fire Company Number 4 on Northern Pike.
Welcome, Chief.
I'm here this evening to talk about the replacement of our aerial ladder truck, which is covered in Ordinance Number 2724, part of the fire agreement. I have some documents here if you wish to review them.
I mean, you can pass them out, Logan. I think council probably has those at their station, but you can still,
Okay.
If any council member doesn't have them there, you should have them.
Will you give?
I have them.
Thanks, Chief.
Thanks, buddy. Good to see you.
You got it. Thank you. Good to see you.
All right. So do we want to review what's in the packet right now, or?
Yeah.
Okay. So within your packet here, in your folder, we have a specified drawing of the truck currently proposed from Pierce Manufacturing. So this ladder truck is very similar to what we have now. Updated safety features, updated components from years past. Our current ladder truck is a 2003. So we just pretty much took what we knew. We've had this style ladder truck since 1982. We took what we knew, what we're comfortable with, what we're good operating with within the municipality for the citizens that we serve, and made it better. Updated safety features. And again, we'll get to that later. Next sheet in here is the bid proposal from Pierce Manufacturing through PA CoStars. You'll see in here that there is on the first line, we have would you like me to put this under the prompter?
No, it's okay. Logan.
You'll see on the first line there, they're quoting the vehicle itself. The performance bond is listed in there. There's a line for NFPA required loose equipment to be provided by the department. We'll talk about that in a little bit. You'll see on the option C, there's options to be paid by the department. Those are options that we felt on the vehicle that we would like to pay for due to the specifications. We felt that we should be paying for those. Then you'll see a new contract price, and then the option D is line D is discount options, and that's if it's paid in full. That's the prepaid discount that the municipality would receive, and then obviously your end total price there. All right. Next, I included the signed letter from December 7th from the Monroeville Fire Chiefs to Municipal Manager Little. All 5 fire chiefs' signature of approval. Now, again, this was signed off prior to me taking office on the 1st. The next letter you have in your packet is an addendum to that. And again, this addendum just basically lists what you saw in the contract bid price. Total price of the vehicle, the options paid for by MVFC4, prepaid discount, and then what is not on that bid proposal is the options paid, the portable equipment and the mounting of the equipment. So Monroeville number 4 would like to pay for all the loose equipment to outfit the vehicle, as well as the cost of mounting the equipment on the vehicle. And then at the end of your list here, you'll see a itemized Excel spreadsheet with all the equipment that we intend to purchase, the NFPA required equipment, as well as the extra optional equipment, their quantity, unit cost, and total cost.
Logan, going back to the November work session, there were several fire chiefs here, and there was questions whether or not this was NFPA compliant. And my understanding is now it is.
That is
Because of
correct.
the- okay.
Yes, this vehicle meets full NFPA compliance as the ordinance states.
Council, just for your edification, as you probably well know, there's a motion to be considered, just to get into the minutes for Tuesday to purchase this. And as Logan said, we have a fire services agreement with the 5 volunteer fire companies to purchase the ladder truck. And as a lot of you probably already know, Pierce's prices, Pierce Fire Truck, they're going to be going up beginning February the 1st, as all of the fire vehicle manufacturers, E1, name a few other, Logan.
Spartan.
Ferrara.
Spartan, Ferrara.
They're all going to be going up because of the price of steel. And as outlined here, if we purchase this through CoStarz, which would not require a bidding out process, because we would go through CoStarz in Harrisburg, we will get a discount, and plus we will not have the increase in price beginning February 1st. So my recommendation to council is to move ahead with this and purchase the truck. Now, as far as financing it and purchasing it, my recommendation to council is to pay cash for this. And the way we'll do this is that the OPEB fund, the other post-employment benefits fund, which we have $7.2 million in, it owes the general fund approximately $4.6 million over the last 5 years approximately. It's on the balance sheet, a liability for the OPEB fund and a receivables for an asset for the general fund. And at some point, that, some of that at least, should be paid back to the general fund. My recommendation to council, now is the time to do that. The investments are good. We have $7.2 million in it. It went below that when the stock market was down about 2 months ago. I have a meeting with the OPEB committee tomorrow afternoon, and that is going to be my request to the OPEB committee, and I believe we should pay cash for this. Now, we may not take all, it's up to the OPEB committee, we may not take all the money out of there. That would be my recommendation, but I'll report back to council on how the meeting goes tomorrow. Does anybody have any questions on that strategy?
No, and just to be clear, yeah, that is, those are monies for the other post-employment benefits that, over the years, that fund should have been paying for the post-employment benefits that it didn't, as it was supposed to. We took that money out of the general fund to make those payments, to keep the investments going. So we're not just buying a fire truck whenever it should be paid for benefits. That money's already been, I know you just said
No,
that.
no,
but I just wanted to
it's,
clarify.
yeah, the general fund is paying the retirees' health benefits, where this is what an OPEB fund, other post-employment benefits, is supposed to be doing. We're trying to preserve that fund. I mean, we're one of the very, very, very few municipalities in the Pittsburgh area that even have an OPEB fund. I think there might be one other. And even in the state for that matter. And it was good forethought, going back 12, 13 years ago, that the then council did this and put money aside. At that time, it was $5 million. And we have taken money out of there through the years, and the strategy is to put money in there, let the investment grow, provided that the investments would grow, and fortunately they have, and then take that money out and replenish it back to the general fund. That hasn't always been done every year. The general fund has been able to sustain approximately $1.6 million of retiree benefits. That is what is owed back to the general fund.
And to do that the way that Mr. Little is describing, we are, and Chief has as well, that'll save us $51,000. So even
Correct.
just doing that maneuver, we are saving or making, if you would, $51,000 on the transaction. So I think that's a positive thing.
Correct.
And Mayor, can I add one other point?
Yes, sir, please.
Yeah, sure. And that was also, for our new members, that was one last direction, and Bob and Steve can, back me up with this too. Our direction to Tim at the time to look at all these different options. The best ways to do this, to look how to best approach financing it, pulling it together. And that was a lot of work in a short period of time. Thank you, Tim, and thanks, Logan, for doing all that and getting the information itemized too. So we took a good hard look at how to do this too as well.
Great. Council, any other comments or questions for the chief or for the public?
Everything looks good.
Very good. This is something we're going to consider and formalize on Tuesday.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Logan.
Chief. Thanks for your
Appreciate
hard
Thanks,
work.
well done, Logan.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Logan.
Don't forget the drawing.
And my map, too.
Yeah, and your map.
And my map.
Council, moving over to our proposed agenda, we have an executive session announcement that council conducted an executive session before tonight's Citizens Night meeting on Thursday, January 6th, from 2022, from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. for personnel and litigation reasons. Council legislative action, if any, shall be taken at the Tuesday, January 11th council meeting. Council, we're moving over to our minutes for the budget meeting of October 28th, 2021, and the budget meeting of November 4th, 2021. And then Sharon, the three that are asterisk, we do not have yet.
No, the ones that are not asterisk are the ones that you do not have. The ones with the asterisks,
We have.
you will.
Yeah, they're on your website.
Very good. Let me clarify that. So yes, council, for Tuesday, you'll be considering the Citizens Night meeting
That's correct.
of December 9th, 2021, the council agenda-setting meeting of December 9th, 2021, and the regular council meeting of December 14th, 2021. Does anyone have any questions or comments or additions, corrections to the minutes? Very good. See,
A point, I just have a point on that. I mean, and Bob, you correct me if I'm wrong, the new council members, they would not be able to vote on that?
Right, correct.
Yeah, and so 3 members, just 3 council members will be able to vote on that, if I'm not mistaken, yeah.
Yes.
okay, you guys are off the hook. So we will consider that at the Tuesday meeting, and we'll get that in order.
We will.
Tuesday. Thank you,
Yes,
Mr. Ratcher.
absolutely.
Real quick, Mayor, if I may,
Yes.
I want to give a kudo to the manager. I had come to some meetings prior to being on council on this side, and had some concerns on board vacancies, and it's saying that there's a list on here, and I see that that's been changed
Yes,
to see the website, and I thank you for that, sir.
you can thank my secretary, she did.
Okay, I thank Dara.
Very good.
Good job, Dara, and nice work, Tim, for giving her the credit. So, excellent. But yeah, and we'll get to that section in a moment. Our reports of our tax collections council. Do you have any questions or comments about the tax collections? And we will have another opportunity to make comment about these on Tuesday. Moving over to our list of bills and budget transfers. Mr. Hizzy, do you have any questions on that this evening? Mr. Poach?
No, sir.
Mr. Stevenson?
No.
Mr. Wolfram?
No, sir.
Mr. Adams?
None.
Mr. Williams?
Nothing tonight.
Mr. Biondo?
No.
All right. And the payroll report, council, any questions or comments?
None.
Very good.
Sir.
Mr. Stevenson already had his comment about the vacancies on boards, commissions, and authorities. We won't act on that at all this evening. But yes, a list of those vacancies and people interested, they can see the website for it. And, there will be some things that I wanted to clear up, which I can follow up with this on Tuesday as well before we make nominations and appointments, because it's always kind of a discussion matter as far as how to do it and when to do it and everything. So the way it works is individuals, residents will apply for the vacancy. They put their name in. There are rules in the Home Rule Charter as far as a resume and a letter of interest to the board and commission that they're interested in doing. It goes to Mr. Little. Mr. Little then gives it to council and so on and so forth. Then what we do procedurally is we make a nomination for that individual. That is a nomination first. Then if that occurs, then the individual stays as a nominated person for a month, and then it's acted on the following month as an appointment, okay? And we'll walk through this with everybody, with the new council members. What we've done in the past, and actually when we looked through it, Mr. Rasher, I know you and I discussed this, as far as nominations, really nominations do not need a second. And they do not need to be voted on. Any council member can make a nomination of any individual, and that's that. The person's on it. The vetting out or the voting then occurs at the next month, instead of having voting twice. So it was something that we really weren't doing really by Robert's rules and by the way the state kind of outlines it, and also the Home Rule Charter. Also, interestingly enough, that the mayor also has the ability to make nominations for individuals in the Home Rule Charter.
People can also nominate themselves.
Now you're getting a little crazy.
I'm telling you, that's what it
But
says.
these are the kind of things, we want to, no, but you're right. But these are the kind of things we definitely want to clear up and make sure everything's being done in an orderly way, in a transparent way. So we'll talk about all this at the Tuesday meeting, but I just wanted to get this into the record now and just discuss this with the new members. But we'll walk through it and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So moving over to our consent agenda, old business, we have two items. I'm sorry, we have two of the same items for the same development. We have three items total. Mr. Little, if you would.
Yeah, the first one is the Sri Shridi Sai Baba Temple. Applicants requesting site plan approval to construct a new religious temple and then raise the existing temple and install associated site amenities. The project area is approximately 1 acre, located at 1451 Abers Creek Road, tax parcel 1108B173 in the R2 one-family S Conservancy zoning district. Planning Commission recommended approval on this. Council tabled this at the December 14th, 2021 regular meeting. The second item is with the same development. It's a conditional use, and there was a public hearing on this at the December 14th meeting pursuant to section 401.8 of the Monroeville zoning ordinance 1443 as amended to permit a cut and fill operation totaling 12,000 cubic yards of earth. The project area is approximately 1 acre at the same address, 1451 Abers Creek, same tax and parcel, 1101B173 in the R1 family residential and S Conservancy zoning district. Planning Commission recommended approval, and again, this was tabled also.
Very good. And if I would, for a second, council, this is also connected to your first resolution under letter D resolutions, first item, which is a resolution approving a waiver releasing the applicant Sri Shirdi Sai Baba Temple Incorporated from installing sidewalks as required by Ordinance 1016 on Abers Creek Road in Northern Pike. This was also tabled, and with all three of these items, staff is still working with the temple representatives to come to an amicable solution to this matter, which we'll hopefully get to by Tuesday. So, Mr. Little, if we could just skip back over to then the third.
Yeah, the third one is Kenneth Nason. Applicant is requesting preliminary and final subdivision approval to subdivide tax parcel 639L66 and consolidate a portion of the subdivided property to parcel 639M108. Parcel 639L66 is currently 3.1 acres and will be reduced to 2.26 acres. A smaller subdivided piece will be added to parcel 639M108, creating lot 14R. The properties involved are located at 2534 Monroeville Boulevard, otherwise known as the Dialysis Clinic, in the C2 Business Commercial District, Zoning District, and 162 Jameson Lane in the R2 One Family Residential Zoning District. Planning Commission recommended approval, and this was tabled at the December 14th regular council meeting.
Council, any questions on that item?
None.
No, and there were some items from last month that were brought up that I think we need to get clarification on by Tuesday or on Tuesday. And then in some of the public comments this evening, there were some items that I think we need to have staff look through to confirm before movement occurs on this item.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir. Public comments closed. But
I have some,
No, there should be no,
yeah,
it's on the
That's
table,
okay.
there's no comment.
it's exact. It's on the table, and we already had the public hearing, and
good.
that's where we're at. But there will be an opportunity at
On Tuesday.
on the Tuesday
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah.
Ah, okay. I'll be here Tuesday.
Council, any other questions? Mr. Little, next item.
Yeah, next one is 21-7-C, a Little Learning Lab. Applicant is requesting a conditional use approval to operate a child care facility pursuant to the Monroeville zoning ordinance 1443 as amended, section 401.9. Property is located at 2553 Mosside Boulevard, tax parcel 857M300 in the C2 Business Commercial Zoning District. Planning Commission recommended approval. This is a public hearing, and so anybody that is going to give testimony or comment on this would have to be sworn in.
Should be. Conditional use.
Welcome. If you could both, now, whatever you're comfortable with, but if you could, sometimes lowering the mask makes it easier to hear, but if you would rather have it on, that's fine as well.
No problem.
And once if you could maybe state your names for the record.
Okay.
My name is Ebony Wallace. Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Robert Rosando. Good evening.
Welcome. And if you would, with the applicants here, and then also if there's anyone else in the audience that plans to add testimony to this public hearing item, which I don't see any, but I will swear the applicants in here if you don't mind.
Okay.
You raise your right hand for me. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yes.
Thank you. If you want to go on with your application and your project, please.
This is upside down.
Yeah, I think it goes the other.
Wrong way.
Yeah, these things.
Okay.
It's upside down now?
We'll get
I
it.
thought it was facing.
It was facing us, so it was right.
My fault.
Somebody check his water.
Then nobody listens to you.
And if you want to discuss your project and maybe orient us with what's going on there on the map.
Okay, so I'll do a little more of the discussing and he'll do a little more of the orienting.
Okay, very good. Welcome.
So we are going to be, or we plan to open up a daycare center. It's 2553 my side. We plan to have about 59 kids or children due to the bathroom and children ratio. We have about 7 bathrooms. We can add more if need be. And we're going to have about 59 children. Basically, we're just basically here to just, we weren't able to be here for
The zoning hearing?
the zoning hearing. We were traveling. So I'm not really sure exactly what it is that you guys need from us, but any questions or anything that we've missed, we just like to answer those questions on behalf of our own center because we had someone else present it.
What were you at the zoning board for, you know?
It went from a dance studio to a daycare.
Okay.
Okay, so this is to orient maybe council members and the residents. This is the, and I get some confirmation, this is the old Waco Dance Studio?
Correct.
I believe Jared had a photo, yeah, he had some photos earlier.
Okay,
Looked
perfect,
up
Jared, yeah, thank you.
There, and there's a
That
one
helps.
from the front, too. It was up just a moment ago.
Did the zoning hearing board act on the application?
Yes, they approved it.
They approved it,
Yes.
okay, good, okay.
Was it a, what, special exception, or you had a variance? I mean, what was the
They
reason?
think it was planning commission.
Oh, planning, okay.
Oh, the planning commission, okay,
that
you didn't
would
go to
make
the zoning
sense.
hearing board.
No, we were
You went to the
traveling, we
planning
weren't
commission.
in
Oh,
town.
okay, all right, okay.
Should we have that letter from the zoning hearing board?
No, they went to the, they
They went
didn't
to
go.
planning commission, Bob.
They went to the
Planning
planning
commission.
commission, wasn't zoning
I'm sorry.
hearing board.
Not the zoning hearing board.
There's a big difference there.
Big
So
difference.
under- so-
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. So under our zoning ordinance, the municipalities zone in different ways. So where this dance studio currently is, the way it's zoned is C2,
And a childcare facility is a conditional use in the
and a
city.
child care facility is a conditional use. And that's why we're here this evening. So it's a permitted use, it's allowed, but it's a conditional use. So basically, there's some things that are, definitely can just go in, no problem. There's another smaller list that we have to do this, and we have to
Right.
kind of get some approval. So,
Okay.
so it's a childcare facility at, and I think council all knows where that building is, and it's in a, pretty much a business district. Does anyone have any questions for the applicant?
Is this the first time you're entering into this business? Do
Yes.
you have other ones?
Childcare facility, yes. But she's worked with children her whole life.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this is, of course, you're heavily regulated by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania with respect to this
Yes,
business.
yes, yes.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have
you're
to-
licensed through the state.
We're,
Correct.
we're getting
We-
everything through the
yeah.
state, correct.
And you
We've
have
just
to meet
finished
their
like our,
regulations and
Yes.
our
stuff.
CDA program and
Yeah.
everything like that. Yeah, we've already completed it.
Oh, great.
Yes.
What age group are we talking about here?
We're gonna do 6 months to 5 years in like the actual daycare facility in that area, which is our bottom level. And then our top level will be an after-school program from 6 years to about 8th grade.
Because I know that behind there is nothing but a parking lot, correct? As a mailman around here for 33 years, so I know all this. And there's no place for anybody to, go outside and really,
No, we
We're
actually,
gonna put in a,
we're
You're
actually
gonna
put
building a
a playground.
playground on the right-hand side of
Okay.
it.
all right.
I have
We'll
that
show
as
that.
well, too.
We'll show
We can just
that
leave it there.
put it on top.
And we'll get
Let me
zoomed in
see
on
if we
that.
can zoom in. Okay, so this is right in front of Walco's Dance Studio. To the right-hand side, the bigger side of the parking lot, we're doing a rubber mulch ground with a 6-foot wooden fence all the way around with 2 access doors to get in, one way, or 2 ways in, 2 ways out. We have our handicap ramp on the other side of the building. We have, I know at the first meeting, there was questions about parking. We added more parking to the parking lot. We have 4 drop-off spots in front of the building for the parents. And now with our 59 kids, we have 12 staff. And that's when we're fully occupied, 59 kids there, which really won't happen too often with it being a daycare. We'll have about 30 to 40, and then about 20 or so for the after-school program. So within our parking, there's going to be a lot of transaction, in and out, cars going in and out. But our staff are going to be parked further away in the parking lot area, and the closer spaces are for the parents to drop off the kids. We have 2 handicap spots parked in the front. 1 spot you can just come put your flashers on. And 3, if you have to come in, if you need help with your children, taking them in and out. But there will be somebody at the door at all times. Parents won't be allowed in unless it's just for, to do the walkthrough of the daycare. We like to, get the kids in and let the parents leave. Keep everything at flow. If it does become a little backed up with traffic, whatever, we will have somebody out there directing it, getting the traffic moving around pretty smoothly.
I mean, that would usually be the question with a daycare center, people dropping them off at 8 o'clock in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, then picking them up between 3 and 4. And I assume, Paul, where's Paul? I assume that was all vetted at the planning commission level, that there's adequate room there.
Right, right.
I mean, a dance studio and a.
Yeah, it's a pretty
daycare,
big
it's just
parking
that
space,
The high
the
point of
parking
the
lot.
parking would be at the day, would be at, what, 8 o'clock or 7:30 and,
We're gonna operate from 6:30, actually.
6:30 to 6:30.
6:30.
okay.
So, yeah, we're gonna get cars in, get cars out. The parking lot's a pretty big parking lot. I don't know if you've ever been there before.
Yeah, well, I've never been in the building, but I've
Right by.
passed by
But
there.
yeah, cars are gonna come at all different times, drop their children off,
Right.
fully staffed. Maybe in the morning, we might have 40 kids on a busy day. That's not every day. Some kids going 3 kids to 1 car, 2 kids to 1 car, in and out. If need be, they could park in staff parking if there's not enough space, because we're gonna have a morning staff and an afternoon staff. So,
And then this is a question maybe for staff. Mr. Hugus, is there enough parking for this building as per the requirements?
Yes, and it was, because it's a conditional, or I'm sorry, went to the planning commission first. And this is our second stop. That's right, it's a conditional use because under the use table, it's a requirement. Yes, there is enough parking. As far as, I know, I had some questions about the occupancy. We'll get into that with the occupancy permit, building permit part of this, and it has to do with the health and human services part of it also. And we actually get it, it's a chicken and egg thing. They won't issue their permit till we issue our permit. We won't issue our permit till they issue their permit, so, but we'll vent that out also.
Very good. Are there any other concerns from your department, from staff's department,
No.
staff at all?
No, we're good.
Very good.
No
Okay.
concerns about the left-hand turn folks leaving?
Well, but again, we're talking about an existing facility.
Right.
You're not gonna change the curb cuts, it's a state road, you're not really changing, you're changing the use of the facility a little bit, but the actual dimensions of the driveways, dimensions of the parking lot, everything else is the same,
You're satisfied with that?
yes.
Okay.
And I think if you actually went to PennDOT with it, they probably would tell you the same thing, it's an existing facility.
Great.
Plus, there's decent sight distance.
Yes, yes. We know it as sort of a higher speed road.
Yep.
But the sight distance is what they would absolutely look at.
Very good.
Thank you.
Mr. Williams?
Is that play area going to be level?
yes,
Yes.
yes, they're gonna dig it out, level everything, put the concrete down, put the rubber, the rubber mulch on top.
Yeah, what was the size of that again?
I believe it's 18.5 by 19.5.
Yeah, and the access from inside?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay,
Very good.
thank you.
Council, any other questions or comments? Yeah, and once again, we'll consider this on Tuesday. This is still part of the public hearing. We'll consider this on Tuesday. We're not voting this evening. And Mr. Hugus alluded to some of this, and we even asked some questions earlier. We have to consider, as far as the conditional use, is just the fact that it's a daycare center. As far as the occupancy, that's something else we'll hash out. The
Okay.
state regulations that you guys are going through, that's for you guys to figure out with the state.
Okay.
So what we just have to decide is, is a daycare center, does it work in that area as a conditional use? So if there's no further questions or comments and anything else for you guys to add, are you guys okay this evening?
I think we're good.
Thank you.
Very good. So we're going to seek a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the hearing?
And we have a second? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. So the public hearing is closed, and we'll see you again on Tuesday. We'll consider it then.
Great, thank you.
Great.
What time Tuesday, same time?
7 PM.
Okay,
Yep.
Yeah,
thank you.
Be careful driving home.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Please.
Very good. Council, moving over to our motions this evening, we have 3. Mr. Little.
Yeah, the first one is a motion to authorize to advertise an ordinance amending ordinance number 848, authorizing the placement of a stop sign on Sandy Drive and Jerry Lane, and this is in Turnpike Gardens.
Mr. Wolfram, that's your ward?
Yes, it is.
And you're good with this?
I'm good with it.
Very good. So we will authorize, and this is something that we'll, once again, we're voting just to authorize the advertisement for the ordinance. We will act on the ordinance at the February meeting. Mr. Little.
Yeah, second one is a motion to permit community reinvestment Partners LLC to operate within the limits of the municipality and petition the court on behalf of the municipality for Community Reinvestment Partners LLC to obtain conservatorship of listed properties to mitigate blight and nuisance properties within the municipality of Monroeville. I've given council a memo on, just to give you a little bit of background. They contacted, initially, I believe they contacted the mayor. This goes back to August. And I met with them in September. And then Attorney Ratcher and I had a Zoom meeting with them about 5 weeks ago. And basically, a conservatorship for the benefit of the public and also for the benefit of council has 4 criteria, basic conditions of a law that was passed in Harrisburg. I think it was in 2009, if I'm not mistaken. The building has not been legally occupied for 12 months. That's one of the criteria. And the building has not been actively marketed during 60 days prior to the date of the petition, when they have to petition the Court of Common Pleas. Number 3, the building is not subject to an existing foreclosure action. And number 4, the current owner fails to present sufficient evidence of acquisition of the property within the preceding 6 months. And also, there are 9 criteria, 3 of which they have to meet, and a lot of them are kind of basic common sense. For instance, number 1 is the building or physical structure has to be a public nuisance. The building needs substantial rehabilitation, and no rehabilitation has taken place during the previous 12 months. And there's 9 others that council can read at their own pleasure. I would believe, and I think Mr. Ratch, you can comment here anytime you want, that this would be another tool in the arsenal of the community to mitigate blight. And in order for them to get conservatorship, they have to petition the court. This doesn't cost us anything. This is just basically council giving its blessing for Community Reinvestment Partners LLC to operate within the municipality. And they had initially proposed 6 properties. They've taken 2 away since then, and they've added 1. The 2 they've taken away, they've been sold and they're off the list, but the one that they have added is on Center Road, which is the last picture I've given. I have pictures, and my own scribbling is there on each one, because when I was talking to the gentleman, Aaron Chandler, from Community Reinvestment Properties, I was kind of marking down different comments that he made. You can see the pictures of the properties that they are looking at. And the last one is the one that they, which is an old gas station on Center Road. Does council have any questions at all about the conservatorship?
Yeah, Mr. Little, the last one, was that one of the ones they removed or no? This is one of the ones they added.
They added, that last one is the one they added. It was, it's a gas station. It's right at the turn there at Center and Old William Penn Highway.
Yep, I think most people know that building. Mr. Ratcher, you had a comment?
One of the things in our discussion, and Tim's right as far as, this is another tool like the land bank and other things to try to get properties that end up being vacant back into repair and have somebody purchase them. And one of the things that I think is a benefit here, these people are willing to work with the municipality, and they're willing to have us act as a co-applicant. And by virtue of that process, I'll be able to keep an eye on what they're doing as well as code enforcement. And so I think it's a situation where, everybody wants to see how it works, but there's reason to believe that they're going to do a good job with this, and we will certainly be able to monitor it. And hopefully it will be something where maybe, 6, 8 properties a year can get back on the tax rolls and back into repair by virtue of the fact that they're doing this. And at the same time, we have other ways of getting properties back too. And the last thing I'll say about all of it is, I serve on the board of the Tricog Land Bank, and one of the things that you see with a lot of these properties is that, like, the land bank will get these properties, and then they go in, and at the board meetings, they'll show us a picture of the properties. And when you go into them sometimes, it just looks like somebody just left and never came back. The furniture's there, everything like that. The reason for that, in most cases, is because somebody that was elderly, that got sick, and maybe they passed away, or they were never able to come back home, and these properties just sit there and they deteriorate. So this is a way to try to get some of these properties before they deteriorate, and address them, and, you know, keep the community viable in terms of tax revenue, and keeping blight out of the neighborhoods.
Very
By,
good. Thank you.
by agreeing to let them come in and do this, what controls will we have as Monroeville? Will we be able to say, we don't agree, that's a blighted lot?
Well,
Or-
they have told us that they are not going to apply for conservatorships in any properties where the municipality does not agree to them serving that capacity.
So we have,
Right.
okay, good.
Is there any added risk? The one is a gas station? Yeah, I mean, there's,
Well, the tanks.
but it's not a problem for us
No,
in
and
this function, given if there is some other untoward
No,
thing,
and-
sometimes related to gas stations.
yeah, and the big benefit is this. The municipality could do this on their own, but you would have to put seed money into some kind of an account or organization, and you'd have to supervise the construction and renovation of some of these properties. And the idea is then at the end, the conservator gets paid first for the money that they put in to improve the property. So instead of doing that, these people are willing to put their money into it. So municipality isn't putting any tax money at risk. And these people are essentially coming in, they're fixing up the properties. Sure, they want to sell them. In some cases, they rent them. But in any event, it's a situation where it doesn't cost the municipality anything to have this done. We don't have to worry about managing some group that, you know, has seed money, that's tax money, that then they're out there doing this, and, you know, we've got to supervise the construction and all of that.
And doesn't that limit our risk in case there is something crazy with the property and stuff? These folks are involved getting it back in place, and that's, I think.
Yeah, by the
add on.
Conservatorship Act, when they are appointed conservators, they're the ones with all the responsibility and liability.
Right, so we can, it's a faster way
Yes.
to get this back in place, even if there's something.
Especially for the gas station, because the tanks
That's what I
probably
was thinking
leak,
of, Bob.
and there's
Exactly.
hazmat issues there.
That's exactly where I was going with that, too. So it's
We
better
don't
than us
need
being
any of
involved
that.
in it for
Yeah.
years.
I think those tanks are actually gone from that particular.
is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, there-
I
there
think that's why they're interested.
Yeah, right, all that's done.
Okay.
Mr. Williams?
There was a gas station ended up at Custerstown out on 286 that they mitigated the soil. I think it was about over 2 years.
Yeah.
To suck all the fumes and gas
Right.
out of it, so that would be on them.
It's a great
Yeah, but-
idea.
Yeah, I think this is definitely, like, I think both individuals mentioned, I mean, this is a good tool to have, just as another arrow in the quiver, if you would. And unfortunately, I mean, everyone, all the council members in, you know, in your individual wards, we unfortunately have a list of homes that are trouble homes, that are blighted homes, that fall into these categories. So I think any way we can attack blight is definitely good for our community. So we can consider this on Tuesday. Very good. And then our third motion is regarding the fire service agreement and the ladder truck, which was presented this evening. Moving over to our resolutions, we have two. The first one I mentioned earlier, it's connected to the Temple property. And then our second resolution is a resolution adopting the VA community-based outpatient clinic sewage planning module. This is the VA outpatient hospital that's being constructed at the mall property. Any questions, council? Very good. Moving over to our ordinances, we have two this evening. Mr. Ratcher.
First ordinance is an ordinance of the Municipality of Monroeville, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, amending ordinance number 2717, appointing Timothy J. Little as municipal manager of the Municipality of Monroeville, and establishing the compensation and benefits of the municipal manager pursuant to section 701 of the Monroeville Home Rule Charter. And this is for council's consideration. As you know, municipal managers work on contracts for 2 years. And then when a new council comes in, the new council has an opportunity to retain that manager. And at that time, the contract has expired from the last term. So it's incumbent upon council to approve a new contract.
Any questions, council? Very good. Next item.
Next item is an ordinance of the Municipality of Monroeville, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, amending ordinance number 2689 to revise the pollution control and flood reduction credit manual rules and regulations. This is related to the litigation that we discussed in executive session relative to the mall and changing the way that we give landowners credits for things that they do that benefit Monroeville under the DEP permit. In all probability, I'm going to recommend to you on Tuesday night that you table this because we're still under discussion with CBL. So we can talk about that on Tuesday night.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Ratcher. And then moving over to reports of our staff, Mr. Ratcher, you have the floor.
Enough talking tonight, I'm done.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Mr. Little.
Yeah, I just have one item. The county has contacted me, and there are residents that, they initially contacted me, and they wanted to have no parking signs on Haymaker Road, which is a county road. And then, when they did contact the county, I wanted to know what portion of Haymaker Road. And the portion of Haymaker Road is going all the way down to 130 and even coming up towards Trotwood. And I spoke to, I forget the gentleman's name, Assistant Public Works Director. His name escapes me right now. Dennis, maybe you can help me out. What was his name, Paul?
Molinaro.
Molinaro, that's right. Thank you very much. And I told him that I need an email, a letter from the county that they're okay with this. And that was just last week, and I haven't received anything back that they're giving the blessing to the municipality if indeed council wants to put no parking signs there, because that is a very wide area, and a lot of people are parking there, and there's people complaining about it, but it is a wide shoulder. So I haven't received anything back from the county as of yet.
But it is from Trotwood to 130? Is it
Well,
specifically outlined?
Jason basically said approximately to in that area, is what he said in his email. And that's a pretty long area right there, going from Trotwood down over. That'd be,
Yeah, I know I've had resident concerns about that region too, especially with it dark in evening time.
Right.
You know, some people parking on the road, they're kind of closer to the white line, but, so the county is requesting that we put them up.
they want to know if we're okay with it. And I said.
But would they be the ones
Okay.
putting them up?
No, we would have to put them up.
Okay, we're back to signs again.
Yeah.
So,
We would have to put them up, is my understanding. But I want to know, I need something official, something in writing that they're okay with it before you even consider it. And I thought I would have something by this time, but I don't.
well, I mean, because then the actions you may or may not request from us are to post them, and we'd have to do something to post, if it's posted all the time, no parking. However, posted or not posted, as we found out from, the ordinance still applies between 2 and 6 in the morning. Okay, anyway, irrespective of a sign.
I'll tell you what, that's a Bob question.
I don't think it does, because that's a county road.
Yeah, I was just
That's
gonna
where I'm
say,
asking is the
yeah,
question.
It's a county
That's-
road. I
That's a
don't think
county
we have
road.
any
It only applies on
jurisdiction
our
there.
roads.
It doesn't apply for the entire borders of the municipality?
Not on the roads that are not owned by us, only on our own roads.
Okay. So,
Okay, even roads that we plow, that we contract with the county to plow?
It's still their road, though.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, I just didn't know if that changed it.
so does that go back to then, as we've gone through this before, to talk about no parking all the time signs, we have to act on that officially, do we not?
Yes.
We have to, correct, okay, to do that, and then, so the issue comes back to, if we can't post the signs that talk about or apply between our ordinance between 2 and 6 o'clock in the morning, issue, we're able to do this on the county road if we wanted to post it for no parking.
No, I believe we would have to get their permission to do it.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
their
That's
permission
when-
to
and
do
they're-
that. That's the
And,
kind
and
of the
this was
question
all
we're asking.
generated by residents, and they contacted me, and I told them they had to contact the county. And then this started about sometime around Thanksgiving, before Thanksgiving.
Can I ask Mr. Hugus a question too, on what we've been trying to work through with signs, to do this in general, and to my colleagues that have just joined us too? We've had a lot of parking, issues and signs, and we're trying to reduce our pollution, and like, not everybody can get a parking sign. So, I mean, how does, my question
Actually,
is.
this process started about 5-6 years ago.
Okay, thank you.
There was a lot of, we had some discussion with folks in the Princeton Road area with Haymaker. We actually contacted the county. The county came out and did an evaluation, and their opinion at that time is, you're either gonna post the entire length of Haymaker or none of Haymaker. And everybody backed off, because as we know, that's a very long piece of road. There's a lot of people that park there. If you live on Haymaker Road and you have an activity at your house, and you need people to park,
You park on the
you
berm.
can't park on the berm, so where do you park?
Right.
So there was a lot of discussion with that, and it kind of went away. Now, it reinvented itself whenever the county paved Haymaker Road and made the berms a little bit wider, so now you have a little bit more parking that occurs there. And yes, you would have to pass an ordinance to support the no parking signs. Now, the 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., the police will not enforce that unless you post the signs. So even though it's a blanket ordinance, they won't enforce it unless it's posted.
Correct. And actually, like you mentioned, the Princeton region, that's where some of the bends are, and the
Yes, that's where a lot of the discussion was before.
that area seems more reasonable to make it no parking. I think that'd be more of a safety issue, whereas we get kind of further down the road, it is pretty much wide open.
Right, but
But
if it
it-
goes back to the,
I know,
where
so-
after it's,
Maybe we-
All or none.
it's all or none,
Right.
that kind of thing, to do that. Do we know that status, or Tim, do you need to get that answer?
Yeah,
back from the county?
Jason didn't mention anything about that, it's all or none.
Yeah, there was an engineer that came out from,
Yeah,
it was before Jason's start there. It was a prior administration, we'll call it.
Well, maybe it's worth saving a little time this evening to wait until Mr. Little gets his clarification from the county.
Yeah.
Because we should just, before we act and discuss it and move on it, we should probably
Right.
see what the county says first before we move forward. Is that reasonable?
Sounds
Everybody?
reasonable.
Bob?
Do we have a resident, did they send on a petition for this?
No, I told him, no, Bob, I told him to contact the county because, the county wants to be in a relationship with us that, okay, we're okay with it if you're okay with it, but I need something from them. That they are okay with it. I just can't go by their word.
Council, any other questions or comments?
And we have similar situations, let's go back to Eric real quick.
Yeah.
We have posted no parking on state roads, but we only do it after we get authority from PennDOT to do so.
Correct.
So we need to find out all of those things, and if those parameters still exist, because we need to talk about if it's the whole length of.
Correct.
From the 1800 block the whole way to the
Again,
2500 block.
you may have a small snapshot of people that want it posted, but the overall length may not.
Correct.
All right, thanks.
Mr. Little, anything else this evening?
No, I would just like to welcome all the new council members, and as I said at the reorganizational meeting, look forward to working with you. If you have any questions about anything, do not hesitate to call me in the least.
Very good. They won't.
Are you saying that because we got to pass this ordinance?
Right, there you go, Mike.
Saying that on Tuesday. Very
go.
good. That's a good one. Okay, so, Mr. Hugus, anything else to add this evening?
No, sir.
Ms. Rock?
Nothing.
Very good. And moving over to reports of our council members. Mr. Hayes,
I
we'll
have
start with
none.
you. That was easy. Mr. Poach?
First and foremost, I think it's Christmas Eve, if I'm not mistaken, and Merry
it is.
Christmas to all of our Orthodox colleagues for tomorrow and friends to do that as well. It's on there. And I noticed something else. Jared, could you go back to that again, please? The last screen that you had from Monroe Council reports. For those of you that are new from Monroeville Municipal TV, it's really nice. I honestly didn't anticipate it before. Well done to those guys. They've been doing a lot of work downstairs, and it was great that we had the ordinances and whatnot that were up there, the things that we were reading for folks to see that. It'll also be another way it's in the record, too, to do that. And I just looked up and had noticed it's a hearty well done to those guys. Other than that, thank you. That's it.
Very good. Mr. Stevenson.
Just one item. I brought this up at the orientation when I first sat here, and this is my second time. And it's about the same thing, COVID. Folks, that thing's there and it's killing a lot of people. Anybody that's not vaccinated, please think about getting vaccinated, not just for you, but for the people you're around. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Wolfram.
Well, all I can say is ditto for everything else that everybody said. Please be careful if you're out there. You gotta go somewhere, I should say. The roads are slick. We've had accidents all over the place. Please drive careful tonight, and that's all, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Adams.
Yes, I'd like to say Merry Christmas to all the Orthodox Christians for tomorrow, January 7th.
Very good. That's right. Mr. Williams.
Just want to tell the public, be careful driving. It's snowing outside, the roads are slick. There's multiple accidents. And again, as we repeat, wear your mask when you're around other people. And may God bless the United States, Pennsylvania, and Monroeville, and may God bless this new council. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Biondo.
Merry Christmas, Mike, and all the other Orthodox Christians out there. I can speak from experience. It is very bad out there. I had a lot of trouble getting here tonight, so when you guys are all driving home, be careful. That's all I have.
But Mr. Biondo, once you got into Monroeville, the roads were clear, right?
Perfect.
That's how
Perfect.
he came from downtown.
Good one, Nick.
But yeah, and it also is very helpful. We talked about parking and snowfall. It is very helpful for residents to get their cars into their driveways, so Public Works can salt the roads appropriately and can plow the roads appropriately. So let's please be considerate of that. Welcome to my council members, my new council members. Thank you. And once again, Merry Christmas to those who celebrate it tomorrow. And with that, I would like to seek a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Second.
And we got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? This meeting is adjourned. Thank you and good night.